Hey there to our 234 subscribers, our future subscribers, and all the people that secretly watch us without subscribing. Today we are going to talk about how to have a magical day with your kids for St. Patrick's Day. We will be discussing how to prepare events for like leprechaun traps and treasure hunts and stuff. They should be prepared the day before, but I will explain those when I get to the point where I talk about when you actually do them, not when you prepare them, or what I know about them, because when my kids were little, we didn't have quite as much access to the internet, and I had never had a situation where we really celebrated St. Patrick's Day when I was growing up that much. So I didn't do a whole lot for my kids. But what I did do is the breakfast thing. We liked to do green eggs and ham, which, I mean, that sounds pretty common, I think. Scrambling some eggs, put a little green food coloring in them. We actually did a couple of times back before I quit eating pork. We'd get ham, or even after I quit eating pork, they used to have turkey ham, which can't find that anymore. But I would go buy green Kool-Aid and fry it in it, which it looks a little creepy, but it turns it green. You could put just a tiny bit of green food coloring in milk. A little bit goes a long way. And then that way they have a green drink to go with it. And I just think it's a really cute idea that's probably really common, but the kids love it anyway. Then sometime after breakfast, if your kids don't go to school, they could help you make some cookies. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Shamrock cookies. And if you don't have a cookie cutter, what you can do is you take, I had to get some suckers because I couldn't find any bouncy balls in town, but basically you roll 3 like little balls of cookie dough like this and stick it on a pan, and then maybe just put a little tiny stem. And if you get the kind of cookie dough that spreads out, then that's all you have to do is just put the balls on there with the little stem, and it will cook out like that. If you get a different type of cookie dough that doesn't really spread out as much, which I have recipes for a couple of those on my, or at least one of those on my page, somewhere, the cinnamon cloud cookies. But if you use something like that where it kind of holds its shape, you might want to, after you put the balls on the plate, just kind of press them down a little bit, and then maybe put like a little indentation in the top of each one in order to make it like leaf shaped somewhat. You could put green food coloring in them, or you can sprinkle green sugar crystals if you don't want to get too carried away with dyes. You could also buy, they have like if you in baking section, sometimes they have like jars of edible gold glitter stuff that you could sprinkle on it, which would be cute. And then for lunch, one idea that I think is pretty cool is you can have like a big plate or platter, and you can make a rainbow using fruit. So cut up some strawberries, take either little tiny oranges or cut the orange sections in pieces, then little chunks of pineapple, kiwi, blueberries, and purple grapes, and then get like little chocolate coins or something to put in one bowl on one end of the rainbow, and then on the other end put like a bowl of marshmallows that would kind of represent clouds. And so that's a cute lunch and or snack, but personally I think that's a great lunch. So as far as the events, the leprechaun trap. So that's something I've heard about a lot on the internet over the last several years, but I never did it as a kid. And it's a cute idea if you're the type of family that encourages kids to believe in things like leprechauns and Easter bunnies and Santa Claus and all that kind of stuff. If you want to do something like that, you can, I guess you just set up, like, have the kids help you decorate a box, and you can say it's a leprechaun trap, and then I don't know exactly what people do with that. I guess when the kids aren't looking, you stick little treasures inside the box and say, hey, look, the leprechaun was here, or something. Some people, I guess, sprinkle like little like gold and green things leading up to the trap. Some people get like washable paint and put little footprints leading up to the trap or leading away from the trap or something to make it cute. Personally, I never did that kind of stuff with my kids. I didn't really push them to believe in all that kind of stuff, but other ideas are treasure hunts. For the younger kids, you can do like either gold coins or plastic gold coins, chocolate ones, whatever. And you can treat them kind of like Easter eggs, where you just hide them either outside or around the house, depending on your weather. And if you have older kids that think that that's, not fun enough for them, and they know how to read, you could also do another type of treasure hunt where you have like a little note that gives them a clue to where the next note is. And I'd say, leave a dollar bill or something at each note, or more if you want to, or even some coins or whatever. And then they just keep following the notes, all the clues, until they get to the last one. When they get to the last one, you could either have like a little treasure chest or a little velvet pouch or something with whatever treasures you want them to have. And so that'd be kind of fun. And then for dinner, there's a couple different options. You could do shepherd's pie, and traditionally it's made with lamb, but more commonly in the United States, people use beef. You could put peas, carrots, onions. I guess, so technically I'm getting a little out of order here. So you make like ground beef or ground whatever you decide, and put it in either a broth, beef broth, or gravy, and put it on the bottom of the pan. You put your peas, carrots, and onions, and then you cover it with mashed potatoes, season it. Maybe I would assume you'd season the meat ahead of time. But anyway, mashed potatoes, and just put it in the oven until the tops start getting a golden color. When my kids were little, I made something similar, even though I didn't even know what it was really. But I did something similar. But what I would do, instead of a beef broth or gravy, I used a tomato base that I seasoned and everything. And then after I put the potatoes on, I actually kind of put a light brushing of the tomato stuff on the top, and it would give the potatoes a little bit of a sweet taste to them. And it was really nice, especially after it was baked for a while. The other food option is potato soup, and I've never actually made potato soup, but potatoes have a lot of vitamins in them, and so plus potatoes are very common in Ireland, I guess, and so both dishes obviously have potatoes. But the potato soup would have potatoes, onions, and broth, optional of milk or cream. I think it'd be good to put like green beans and little slivers of carrots in it, so you get the green and orange for St. Patrick's Day. And then of course you season it, and it's optional. You could either add cheese, or if you really don't want to go vegetarian, you can add some bacon. I personally wouldn't do that, but other people would. And then also on top of that, so when you're having this dinner, one thing you can do to include your kids is you sit around and talk about the lucky things that happened during the day, or even just lucky things that they've had in their lives, things that made them feel lucky and made them feel happy, and stuff like that. And then after dinner, everybody calms down and everything, and then you could do like a movie night. You just get on whatever your favorite streaming app is, pick out an appropriate movie for the night, put on some pajamas, green, orange, rainbow, whether you want to go St. Patrick's Day green and orange, or you want to do lucky with rainbows and things, and that's when you snack on your cookies. And so yeah, that's my ideas of things you could do with your kids for the St. Patrick's Day holiday. I wish I would have done more with my kids, but I didn't have a lot to go on because, like I said, we didn't celebrate things that much other than Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I didn't really get to experience that kind of stuff. But have fun with your kids and do things fun with them. And sorry, I keep looking up I have a big monitor. That's where I see myself. So it's really hard to look down here at the camera. But anyway, so yeah, hopefully I gave you some ideas. If you have other ideas that you want other people to know about, that you want to share, just put it in the comments. And yeah, so please like, subscribe, comment, and share, and get your friends to do the same thing. And I'll be back in a few days with one of the Grimm's fairy tales. Thank you. Bye.